Steckline Report. Nice to have you aboard because we're out in the field, and that's where I like it the best, friends. Big field day, Kauffman Seed Company, Yoder, Kansas. And I've got a couple of guests here. We're going to talk about wheat, serious business about wheat, in just a minute.
I first got started in the cattle business. My wife and my father-in-law got me into it. I love dealing with the animals and being in the outdoors. At American Ag Credit, I know a lot of them are in the same business that I am. Therefore they understand what I need and what problems I'm against, so they can work with you on it, and it makes it much easier.
It's been passed down to me through the generations, and I want to pass it on down to the next generation or two.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the little red tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Straub International can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horse ranging from 30 to 140, plus an army of attachments, a Farmall can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing, and then some. Visit Straub International, your Case IH dealer at any of our 7 locations to find a Farmall that's right for you.
Our special guest today on the Steckline Report with me here out at the field day at Yoder, Kansas, Kauffman Seed Company. And Tom Clayman is the guy that owns the business, runs the business. And Tom, I got to tell you, I drove by the plot. I want to spend a little bit more time there, although it's nice rain today. Thank you for arranging for that.
Well, it'd be nice if I had control over that, but I don't always have that control. We'd turn it down just a little bit and keep some for a little bit for June and July, I think, at this point in time.
I hope you can do that. Tell me about your plot. Looks pretty nice. Weather treated you okay?
We've had good weather. We've questioned it all winter long. The freezes this spring. Wheat crop is like a cat. It's got 9 lives, and we've used up 8 of them. So hopefully we don't have to go for the 9th one yet.
Well, I hope so too. Tell me, what varieties look the best out there?
Right now, we've got Southwind, an AgriPro release is really looking strong. We've got.
Is that a new one?
That's brand spanking new this year. The first time farmers will have a chance to get it. We've got Ruby Lee in there from Oklahoma State that looks strong. A new release from K-State, 1863. That again is another good variety that may be adapted a little bit further north, but it looks good for right now.
This old weather is conducive to disease.
Lots of disease, and we're going to have to look at using fungicides here pretty shortly. Where our position on our wheat is right now, fungicides probably will need to be applied here in the next week to 10 days. But if we don't put the fungicide to it, we're not going to have a good crop at this point.
Is that right? You think it's worth the money then?
Oh, it's well worth the money. You don't drive your car down the road without an insurance policy on it. Too much risk. And if you got a wheat crop out there, you better put some fungicide on and pay for it with that insurance right there, because it'll pay for itself.
Tell me about western half of Kansas is pretty, or let's make it the western third of Kansas has got a terrible crop out there. Is that going to affect seed supply?
It will affect seed supply some, not only in western Kansas, but you head towards the Panhandle, Oklahoma, and on down into the Panhandle of Texas. Those guys down there have suffered an awful lot, had a lot of freeze damage and drought. I mean, it's one thing after another. So it will shorten up some supplies of some varieties, but it looks like we'll have a good enough supply here we can keep everybody going.
Well, you've got a lot of people growing for you, and they're in the right areas this year.
We are this year. We've been blessed, and we always make sure we keep a fair percentage of our acres underneath irrigation. So we could water last fall, so that's not a big deal. But we've got it going, and it will look good. We hope when we get to the harvest.
All right, Kauffman Seed Company. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. I've got a special guest over here that I want to know about. New wheat varieties. AgriPro is a name that I've been dealing with probably for 40 years, off and on. Greg McCormick is a manager of the Plains area for AgriPro, and your wheat crop in your area looks pretty good.
Yes, it does. Although, when you go out west, there's a lot of drought damage, there's a lot of freeze damage. Fortunately, the central part of Kansas looks really good right now.
AgriPro is one of the leaders in coming up with new seed varieties that do well. Tell me about the future. I'm a farmer now. I'm looking at it. I want some 100 bushel wheat. You guys going to come up with that?
Well, Larry, as you know, that depends on the environment a lot. But yes, I think that we've continued to increase the yield potential of the wheat. We have a new release, SY Southwind, that right now is our highest yielding wheat.
Is it?
Commercially available. That's in our irrigated testing. So it has very high yield potential. As you know, in Kansas, the environment can tend to take some of that yield potential away.
Sure.
But certainly we are increasing yield potential every year of the wheat varieties that we release.
Are you guys recommending that we put some kind of fungicide on?
Yes, we do. Of course, we're part of Syngenta, and so we have a great lineup of fungicides, seed treatments, and we certainly have seen in the areas where growers are taking care of the crop using seed treatments, certified seed, and also putting the fungicide on. Those are the guys that are increasing their yields and getting closer to that 100 bushel range. And areas where they're not doing that, they've kind of remained static.
What about hybrid wheat? We've heard about it for 100 years. In fact, I grew some of the first hybrid wheat in south central Kansas on my farm. I think DeKalb was doing it. No, Monsanto was doing it, I believe, back, 25 years ago, and we haven't come up with any more.
Well, as you know, we are Syngenta is investing heavily in a hybrid wheat program, and we're still a ways away from a product that you can put on your farm out there. We're really targeting more towards the end of this decade because we've got a lot of research to do on this hybridization project, but we're comfortable with where we're at, and we keep advancing, and so hopefully down the road you'll see that on your farm.
Really? So it's coming.
Well, yes, the investment that we're making, it's coming.
Greg, that's great. Great news, guys. We need 100 and a quarter bushel wheat, don't we, Tom?
We sure do, and we'll take it every time we can get it.
There you go, friends. Thanks for being with us on the Steckline Report, and we'll see you next time around.